I was absolutely stunned when you told me the possibilities that a licensed massage therapist has. I thought, maybe, the obvious, a spa, a medical office. But yes, you can work at a cruise ship and be a licensed massage.
Yeah. Professional athletic.
Yes, you can travel with a football player, with a soccer player. Hi, guys, and welcome to Class Act, the Career School podcast. I am so happy to have you guys here today. I am interviewing actually a very interesting school owner today. She is Chris Ryder, and she is the director and owner of Carlson College Massage Therapy School. So, we're going to be talking about how much time this school has been doing amazing work, changing lives, and transforming the way students can come in, learn, and serve as licensed massage therapists. They've been doing this for a while. It's actually the longest established massage therapy school in Iowa. And yeah, thank you so much for being here today with me, Chris.
Great. Thanks. I'm happy to be here.
Yay, it's wonderful. I just wanted to make sure that our listeners have an opportunity to know more people like you and know more schools like your schools making incredible work when it comes to offering opportunities to people and changing the perceptions of what it really means to have a career. Um, we are going to be going through how your school came to be, about how you came to be in your school, about what kind of students are in your school, and finally, about what it means to run and successfully, like you have a school like this one. And at the end of the podcast episode, we're going to be sharing with you guys amazing enrollment tips. You may have to make sure that you check on the enrollment handbook that is attached in the show notes. And without further ado, I'm going to get started with our interview here with Chris Ryder. First of all, a lot of people want to know what kind of students come to your school. You know, you're in a very unique position. If we talk about your students and the kind of people that come to you, um, you've been in the school since 1994, correct?
Yeah, I'm a graduate from 1994. So, yeah, I was sitting in the seats as a student in the 90s. And then I started working with the school in 1999.
Fantastic. What kind of students have you seen in this time that you've been running the school?
To be honest with you, we don't have a traditional student. If anything, that's part of our celebration is that we have students that are 18 to 50s, 60s, and beyond. We have traditional students right out of high school. We have single mothers. We have recent divorcees. We have retirees and a whole lot in between. So that's what makes our place great, to be honest with you, is the diversity, which also translates into the diversity of the population receiving massage. So the students are getting real life experience with people that are different than themselves, which is incredibly valuable.
So valuable. And honestly, like I've known, like of all the students that you've interacted with, of all these different ages, do you know, can you recall a specific case or a story that you would like to share with us of a student that benefited greatly from actually becoming licensed massage therapist?
Sure, there's so many great stories over the legacy of the school, that's for sure. But probably the one that touched my heart the most is the single mom, that comes in, is struggling financially, maybe doesn't have a lot of support. The one in particular I'm thinking of didn't have a lot of local support in her life. And came to school to create a new legacy for herself and for her child and wanted to have a profession, something that could go with her wherever she went, that allowed her the ability to have the flexibility to raise a child alone. And, she not only graduated and was successful. She's thriving. Now she has a massage practice. She has people working under her. So she's become a boss lady, and that's something that we certainly celebrate because now she's a mentor for the next generation of the massage therapists.
I was gonna say that when we talked the first time, you told me that one of the things about massage therapy mm, that was wonderful is how it can kind of translate and fit into all these stages of your life. Like you're talking about
Oh.
can you tell me more about how when we talked about last time, how is it that a massage therapist starts? Like what kind of jobs do they have at the beginning? And then how does that being licensed as a massage therapist kind of translates into growing older or, maturing in the field? What kind of jobs do they have? What kind of opportunities do they?
Yeah, our graduates, with our program, we teach beyond the basics. So a person can leave our program and they can go and they can be an employee someplace and do very well in a spa, a casino, a resort, a cruise ship. Or if they choose to, if that's more their style and they want to be more in the medical world, they could choose to be in a chiropractic office, a physical therapy office. Many of our graduates hit the ground running and open their own storefront in their small town in Iowa, so they become Main Street Massage or something along those routes. So that's the great thing about our education is that everybody's not kind of pigeonholed in one direction. They can take our education and thrive in a multitude of directions, whatever best fits in their life and their personality, honestly, because culture is so important where you go to work.
Yeah, for sure. And it's so nice that it's you telling us this story. You've been in their shoes.
Sure.
You are definitely a person that has kind of gone through those stages in which massage therapy has fit perfectly in yours. Can you tell me a little bit about the story that about how is it that you ended up being the director and owner of such of a school with such legacy, with such weight in Iowa?
Yeah, I mean, I was blessed to be a graduate of Carlson College, and made a connection with Ruth Carlson, the founder of the school, when I was a student in 1994. And then when I came onto the staff, I worked very part time while I continued my practice in a chiropractic office and loved it there. Wasn't a day I didn't want to go to work, which honestly is a blessing in life, right? Um, and then as I started working more and more in the school, Ruth was to a place that she was ready to step away and retire and go into her next phase of life. Um, and she just reached out and said, "Hey, I can see you in this place. I see some of me in you," which is an incredible honor, right? I mean, she is a legacy in the state of Iowa. Um, and her family is a legacy. Many of them are massage therapists and body workers and in the health field. So for her to see some of herself in me was such an honor. And so, I took the leap of faith. I trusted, I spoke to those that are most important in my life and said, can we do this? Um, I always wanted to work in the medical side of massage, but I also knew early on that I wanted to have the opportunity to mentor others in the field of massage. And then when this all came together, it was just the perfect connection.
Where I'm meant to be.
Yes. And I said, what better way that I can help the next massage therapist?
Yeah. I think also, I don't know, tell me if I'm wrong. It also kind of puts you in a place of giving back.
Oh, sure.
How did becoming a licensed massage therapist, um, change your opportunities in life? How did it, I know that taking on a school is a very, very heavy responsibility, I would say. But how did your life change in terms of opportunities when you decided, okay, I've done this and this as a massage therapist, it's time for me to kind of take that torch and light up the hearths of different people.
Well, certainly the biggest opportunity it gave me was the ability to have some flexibility in my life, and to do something that I love, helping others, whether it be when I was working as a massage therapist in the chiropractic office or now helping the students to go from day one to what we'll celebrate tomorrow is their graduation, and to see that growth and that potential throughout the journey. It took me a while to kind of wrap my head around being a school owner. People ask you one of the first things, what do you do? And once I became the owner of this school, I'm like, well, I'm a massage therapist and I own a massage school. And it was surreal almost. It just seems, and it is a big undertaking. But you also know the legacy that you've taken on, and just the scope of the impact you have with others, whether it be not only the students graduating and that have been through our program, but all the therapists after them, all the clients, all those people see. So it has been something that has been a complete joy. It hasn't always been easy. I'll be the first one to admit that. It's not always easy. The administrative side of it can be a little daunting, of course, when the paperwork and, the not so fun stuff. But it's the necessary stuff to be credentialed to the level that we are, that we are accredited, that we're able to take federal student aid. That's a big deal for a standalone school.
It's very big shoes to fill also, because you're taking on the school that has so much history and has served so long, right? And like you said, there's a lot of like non-fun things that are very not related to massage therapy, which was what you were doing. If you think back, right, to those first months taking over the school, um, what would be an advice or something that you would done different now that you have that experience and perspective?
I think it's ironic that I chose within the whole school. We have a 6,000 square foot school to sit behind a sign that was a gift from one of the classes that says "Just breathe." I wish I would have breathed a little bit more. I wish I would have took a little bit more time to kind of take it all in. It was very overwhelming, to be completely honest with you. And it was heavy. It was really heavy to take on that legacy that Ruth had created and her family had created along with her in the state of Iowa. So it was a pretty big deal.
I can imagine. And yes, there's a lot of things that are sort of like take it easy or breathe. Um, was there anything also like practical? Like I hated doing my taxes or doing like or getting teachers or was it easy to get accredited licensed massage therapists? I guess you guys were just making them and hiring them again.
Sure. Sure. Well, the good thing is we create a community here. So very often people graduate from here and want to become part of our faculty and staff. So that's generally a pretty good transition. Probably the hardest thing was the balance of the administrative side and kind of, you never want to take on the disciplinary role, but you kind of have to sometimes. And that's hard. That's very hard. That's very opposite of being a massage therapist, right?
Especially with such a tight knit school. I mean, this is for the listeners, but you guys, I saw so many photos of all the generations of people
Yeah.
who have gone through this school, and it's really heartwarming to see all the people, and they're still on the walls.
Yeah.
This is
And that's just like going home, right? You go home to mom and dad's, grandpa and grandma's, and the family pictures are on the wall.
yeah.
And that's exactly what we have here. We have one whole room dedicated that is called our library that has every class picture of every single person who has attended here. And it's very nostalgic to
But it's also showing how much it changes lives. How many lives have been changed, and if it worked for so many people, it might as well work for those students. Correct?
for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Massage therapy is very practical. It's a meaningful career. You use your hands. You can do it for a long time. Um, it and the path is really short compared to going for years and years of college, and a affordable if you compare a college debt to massage therapy
Yeah.
school debt.
Sure.
Um, how do you help prospective students understand the value of this kind of education? Do they go, and will they have a real career? You have gone through this path. Does it feel like a real career to you? Do you feel like you were, as prepared to take on the world and say, okay, I'm a professional?
For sure. I mean, if anything, it almost feels like a dream career because I didn't think that I don't know a lot of people who truly get out of bed every day and want to go to work, and want to do their career. And you can have that as a massage therapist. Again, you create it. You make, you as the student and the graduate, you make your path and you create that which you enjoy. So the path is each individual's choice, and they can make it as they wish, and it can be very lucrative, it can be very flexible. It can be very within your family requirements, your family needs. There's just the flexibility and the ability to earn a real living. It's hard to match. In Iowa anyway, we're healthcare professionals. That's how we're licensed. Um, to go to school in around 6 months to a year and become a healthcare professional, I mean, that you can't really beat that.
And have the state recognize you as such.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yes.
so heavy to have the state recognize you as a medical professional.
Yeah.
So
And you can do that for a relatively inexpensive cost. I mean, our average student that leaves here, I mean, there's students that have to, and we're grateful to offer federal student aid, and they have to take everything available to them. And they will leave with about $7,000 maybe in loans. But our average student leaves with under $6,000 in loans.
that is incredible.
That's hard to beat.
One of the reasons why this podcast exists is because this has to get out there. I don't know what you encounter being, there on the field with your students, and seeing generations and generations of students come and go. But it is almost surprising to them at the beginning when they reach out to you that they become professionals with very little money in comparison to colleges, and very little debt.
Yeah. And I think opportunity cost too. If you're going to a 2 year or 4 year school, that's a lot of time that you're not earning during that time to the same potential. So the fact that you could come to a trade school, become a licensed massage therapist in 6 months, you know, that's a heck of an opportunity.
Not just any trade school. I mean, you mentioned that the Carlson College of Massage Therapy prepares students for, real world. Do you guys have any like externships or help the students find jobs, or do you guys have any? How does it look like when the student graduates? How prepared are they to take on the world of like, okay, I graduated. What does it look?
Sure.
What happens next?
Yeah, we call our student clinic the last quarter of study. So, like the last 20% of the program, they're in the student clinic, which is here at the school because it's required to be supervised by a licensed massage therapist. And we honestly, we run it just like a real life practice. The students are involved in scheduling of the clients. We assist them, but we don't do it for them because that's not going to serve them in their next chapter when it's their practice. And they're required to do a certain number of massages. They do all the paperwork, the clinical note taking that is required of healthcare professionals. Um, we do help them with job placement. We have a career opportunity board that has, like, right now, probably about 125 job offers on the board for people. And then we also do career fairs twice a year where businesses are invited in to share their place. Because a piece of paper on our career board is great. Don't get me wrong. We make a lot of connections that way, but there's nothing that replaces meeting someone.
Yeah.
Now,
Connection.
understand a connection and understanding their vibe, their culture of their business, their mission, and making sure that you're aligned. I tell the students all the time, don't take the first easy job, take the best job. Get the one that connects best with you and your goals. Someone else will tell you this is great, this is what you need, but is it what you need?
I was absolutely stunned when you told me the possibilities that a licensed massage therapist has. I thought, maybe, the obvious, a spa, a medical office. But yes, you can work at a cruise ship and be a licensed massage.
Yeah. Professional athletic team.
Yes, you can travel with the football player, with the soccer player, and still be part
Yeah.
of,
We have graduates doing that. We have graduates that contract out with professional athletes and travel to them and with them. And, that's
it's
what
mind
the
blowing.
vision was.
So it really, you're going to school for massage therapy, but the possibilities of what you can do out in the field, or what you can actually work in, it's completely different. It's
Oh,
completely
sure.
it's
And there's not a right and a wrong, and that's what makes it so wonderful. Is there's students graduating tomorrow who absolutely see their vision being in a salon or spa. That's outstanding. There's others that want to be in private practice on a storefront on Main Street. Fantastic. And there's others that want to work in chiropractic or physical therapy offices. Perfect. You know,
it's
anything, whatever best fits their world is what we celebrate.
I think honestly, like, so many people still think that trade schools are an alternative. Like,
Yep.
oh, I'm not going to college, so I'm just gonna go and do this thing. But really, they're just one of the smartest paths you can take, especially because there is this necessity of of a need of having more people that are like, oh, this and that. And you know people think that just because it is something that might seem simple. Also, oh, just massage therapy. No, this is a medically recognized field within Iowa.
Yeah. I
It's really nice.
I tease the students all the time that their friends and family probably think, wow, you're going to massage school, you're laying around all day getting massage. And then they start our program and they're like, oh my gosh, we're taking college level anatomy and physiology and pathology, and we're learning the muscles, the bones, the nerves, you know, it's intensive. I mean, it's not an easy path, but I took the traditional path before I found massage therapy. I'm a graduate of the University of Iowa. And I took the traditional path. I took a scenic tour to get my degree, but I did end up finishing. And there was a lot of things that I had to take in school that had really no relevance
No, exactly.
to my career. And the nice thing about a trade school is it's so focused on what you need to have the best tools in place for an outstanding career for you. We're not going to fill it. I mean, sure, there are some things that some people are more drawn to in our program than others, but it's all to make you a good quality massage therapist.
Do what do you wish more people, especially young adults and parents, because I know that a lot of parents are out there, putting second mortgages on their houses to pay for college for their kids, thinking that those are the only opportunities that they can learn their kids, right? You know, I have kids, and it's sometimes scary to think, how do I prepare them for life? Lucky for me, I've been close to a lot of trade schools, and I know how much of a career, even sometimes even more, like you said, it's very hands-on, it's very laser focused, it's very relevant what you learn in a career school. um what do you wish more young adults and parents understood about this field of massage therapy and the
You
kind
know,
of future it offers.
I wish people really understood that it does provide, coming to a massage therapy school like Carlson College of Massage Therapy provides all the tools that a person needs to have an outstanding career in a health industry profession. That a person can come to school in a relatively short time and leave here with the confidence, the skills, the qualities that it really takes to be an outstanding massage therapist, and that can lead to a great life. It can make good money, job satisfaction. A continuing education presenter recently shared with me about the industry of massage therapy and said that they did career satisfaction survey across the board, and massage therapists career satisfaction was over 90%. The average person career satisfaction was under 50%. What better thing could we give our children but a life of having happiness in their work? Because for life and meaning, so much of us need meaning and need to have purpose in our life. Massage has incredible meaning and purpose. To see someone come in and have the look of stress or have the look of pain on their face before the massage. And then after the massage, they just look relieved. They look like there's hope. They look like there's a sunshine for the first time in a long time.
I have a personal question. This is from me.
Mm.
What is it like? I know a lot of people. I've had a lot of friends, a lot of family that they have not done well on the traditional education path. Let's call it. They feel like I don't have this grades. I don't do this. They're great with their hands, so they would be great massage therapists. But do you feel like what is the minimum amount of preparation a person needs to have to be able to become a massage therapist, a licensed massage therapist in Carlson College of Massage Therapy?
To be honest with you, most of our students who do the best, yesterday, our students got their grades, right? Ooh, and some of them were like looking at the piece of paper in total shock. And they're like, I've never gotten grades like this. I never had success in school. Not everybody, of course. We have some students that have had brilliant academic careers. But for the most part, people who come here have struggled. School has not been a joyful place for them.
Well, traditional school is not meant.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it doesn't really satisfy a lot of people, and it doesn't engage a lot of people. And so why do people have success here? It's because they're doing what they want to do. They're learning what they want to learn. They see the end of the tunnel and it's a bright end.
And the why of what they're learning. Like you
Exactly.
said, the fact that it's so laser focused and so sort of has, you learn what you need.
Exactly. So what does a person need to come here? What do they have to be prepared? If I were to tell the students that will be starting in 10 days, what do I need to do in the next 10 days to prepare to be successful? Open up your mind. Open up your mind to the willingness to learn and just pour into the program. Pour into your instructors. Pick our brains, ask the hard questions. Ask the questions. Just be willing to learn and be willing to be uncomfortable because it's going to be a new experience. For many people, they've been out of school a long time, you know,
Yeah.
or they did not have success in school before.
Yeah.
So to come back is very, very difficult.
To get back that self-confidence.
Yeah.
You know,
And sure, if someone's scared, about the academics, the most difficult part of our program by far is the anatomy and physiology. So I'll refer them to an app that they can study the major muscles. That will give them a head start.
and it's very difficult to see it in a book or a textbook.
Yeah.
And also see it, touch it.
Body.
Yes, that's another thing. It's so practical.
Yeah.
Schools, you get a textbook, you learn all these muscles, and you don't see these things. But seeing on a body and practicing it, touching it, finding it, that's very different, a very different experience.
Yeah, one of the unique things that we do here within our curriculum, I should have brought one with me, is the students actually get a little mannequin and they use clay and they sculpt the clay into the shape of the muscles. And then they build the mannequin from deep to superficial so that they can understand the layering of the muscles, the striations of the muscles, because that's very difficult for most of us to get out of a textbook.
Yeah, it's not abstract. It's kinetic. It's physical. It's there. Oh my god. I have a teaching background. I'm a high school teacher, but
Oh, yeah.
love it. Absolutely love that you came on the podcast and came to share that, because I know for a fact that there's a lot of students that might be wondering if they're not gonna succeed in life, if they're not gonna have a job that makes them happy, if they're not gonna be able to, make their own schedule, because that's a luxury space.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Um, and I know that if they hear this, they would be like, maybe I should go for that. Oh,
Let's hope so, because there is an option, and trust the process. Yeah, some people that come into the program have been a little jaded from school previously. And so a common message we'll say is trust the process. Just go through it with us and we will help you through it.
trust the process. We know our stuff.
Ha, for sure.
Can you let our listeners know, please, Chris? How can they find the school? How can they reach you? When do classes start?
For sure. We're in Anamosa, Iowa. So we're just outside of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Some people will say we're in the middle of nowhere, but really we're in the middle of everything, and that we're not far from Iowa City, we're not far from Dubuque, we're not far from Cedar Rapids, we're not far from Cedar Falls, Waterloo. We have a very comprehensive website just at carlsoncollege.com. We have a tab called Prospective Student, and we err on the side of laying everything out so people really get a good feel for who we are, what we are, and what the program costs, what it entails. Our phone number is 319-462-3402 if anyone wants to call. We have the daytime program that's 6 months that starts every August and every February. And it's twice a year. And then the evening and Saturday program starts every September. And then it will graduate the following August. So it's just under a year. And so we have another program starting August 18th, the daytime program. And then the evening Saturday program will next start September 15th.
Well,
So we're coming up quick.
know it. If you guys want to reach out, Chris is more than glad. I am sure
Oh,
to walk you guys through this process. It is such a it was such a pleasure to have you here,
yeah,
Chris.
thank you.
Especially because I feel like the work you guys do, is changing the way people see careers. I know that with the pandemic and all that, people started seeing work remotely and things like that in a different way. I really hope that with more people speaking up, not just this podcast, but other institutions that support the work of career schools, we can spread the word and let people know that this is for real. This is for real, and there's a different path. Again, thank you for coming. If you guys want to know more about Carlson College of Massage Therapy, check out the show notes. I'm going to make sure that I put all the information that Chris shared with us today there. And also, if you guys want to improve your enrollment, make sure that you guys check out the 10 steps to increase enrollment in the show notes. See you guys in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you much.